when I went to Jamie's for the first time, I think it was 2011, right before you started coming, she welcomed me. Yeah. And, I felt really good there. I mean, she's such a nice person. Yes. So, yeah, it's good that we have people like that, will welcome the community.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the Transparency Podcast Show.
Met a guy on Craigslist, and he was a guy, and he said he has a roommate. She's like a transgender cross-dresser person. Mm-hmm. So they have this club in Long Beach. It's called Hamburger Mary's.
Yes.
And Hamburger Mary's every night has their own theme night. Every weekend it's different theme. So one of the weekend is called TGirl Night, meaning trans girls night. Yeah. Okay. So they asked me if I want to go. I said, okay, fine. I never been, as I bought probably a dress the first time.
Right.
Yeah, and I had my wigs and did my awful makeup. Yeah, I had a picture, so you guys it's very crazy.
Excellent.
And I wasn't expecting anything. It's actually my first time out fully. So
I actually remember that first night.
Yeah. So when I walk in, I feel I've been kind of dressed on and off, in a closet.
Sure.
So I wasn't really sure what's going on. I was all those times I was trying to figure out for myself, like, why I'm having this desire, Of
course.
So when I went to your event, walk in, I said, wow. And I suddenly feel I belong here. Yeah, that's how I feel when I first walk in. So, we know a lot of people know Jamie. We don't need to introduce, especially Southern California. But probably many people don't know your background. Do you want to kind of introduce yourself and start?
Sure, of course. The thing about me is that I have been an entertainer. I've been entertaining my whole life. I was thinking when I was 5 years old and I was in kindergarten, my kindergarten teacher thought I had so much good energy that when we did our performance that winter, she put all the kids behind me. They put a striped coat on me.
Okay.
And I went to walk down in front of them. I sang, tan shoes and pink shoelaces, a polka dot shirt, and man, oh man. And everybody went crazy. They loved it. And it's kind of always been in my blood to entertain people and to find ways to have people enjoy themselves.
Yes.
Now, ironically, when we started TGirl Nights back in 2009, there was really no place for us to go in Orange County. That was my goal, is that we had no place to go. Okay. Now, ironically, by being in Long Beach, we actually serviced both Orange County and Los Angeles.
Yes.
And people started just coming. They started showing up. One of the reasons I always told people is that when you come to the club, I was there every Tuesday. And so that I said, look, maybe some of the people you don't know that you wish you knew are not here, but I'm here. Guys and girls.
Yeah.
I talked to everybody. I made sure that everybody felt comfortable, felt at home. I even gave drink tickets out to new girls.
Yes. That's how I feel when I first walk in. You were very nice. I was introduced, to you with my friends. So I was very shocking, knowing, oh, wow, everybody's like having fun and they don't feel scared or afraid and just be themselves. So that's why, it changed a lot of lives. And so when did you realize that you are kind of like, thinking about feeling you identify yourself a little bit different than normal?
Yeah, well, all of us go through different transitions in our life as far as the feminine energy goes and our spirit goes. And mine was that way too. It kind of went on and off for a bit. And then actually I had a son. And so I quit altogether for like 10, 15 years. And then he went kind of off the rails. Okay. And so I said, okay, you know what? I'm dressing again. So I always kid when people said I was kind of driven to dress instead of driven to drink. But so we got that how it kind of started. I really, really wanted to be a part of the scene when I restarted in 2006. So I went to LA and I met all the people and got to know what was going on. And I go, wow, this is a pretty nice group of nice people. There's about 100 people back then that were pretty active.
Yeah.
And I got to know a lot of them. And then a friend of mine decided to start a promotion. And I said, hey, let me get on board with this, because I had done corporate event production. So I understood the big picture, how to do all the different angles of it. And so when it came time for me to start my own production, I go, oh, you know what? I know exactly what to do here. Yeah. And I brought together a really strong staff of production people. Teresa, Ronnie, Gracie, we all had film and all kinds of production value. Right. So when we came in, we just go, yeah, this is easy. We just do this, do this. And but the most important thing, along with all the logistics, was that it was very comfortable for everybody. Yes. Everybody loved being there.
Yes. And when I first went, the highlight for myself, I'm sure for many girls too, is the red carpet photo. So did you you have this ideas from the
from the beginning. I said, you know what? Because a lot of venues will have a little place that you can stand in front and take a picture of. But I said, no, we want to make this special. You can get a chance to be on the red carpet. Yeah. And so people ate that up. Our photos without people in front of the red carpet are still on people's profiles all over the place. Yes, it's very
genius for marketing purpose as well. So I remember at that time, I was only able to go on Saturday every month only once. So every time after that Saturday, I went every week, because I remember you only post one album per week. You don't throw it out there at once. So I was like, okay, I have it. And, I have this anxiety. I want to see it. Because I think your idea is perfectly for us trans girls, because we want to doll up, want to dress up, and we love to see how ourselves look like. And for me, I remember the first time, I don't even know how to pose. Right. So Teddy, our friend, he's a red carpet photographer. He kind of also teaches how to pose and everything.
People always love the red carpet, especially because they can just get out there and do whatever they want to do, And like I say, our photographer will kind of help them pose if they want, or they could just be themselves. Right. But bottom line is they get to have pictures of them in like a Hollywood format.
Right. Yeah, so I really dig into that right in the beginning. So,
at the old club, we used to put the red carpet out on the parking lot. So when people would drive by, they go, "What the heck is going on there?"
Yeah, it's just like you say. It's just like the Hollywood, the real Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah,
and it was so simple, and it just was like a no-brainer. It's like, of course, that's what we should do, So we made sure to emphasize that. We had a great dance party. We had beautiful go-go dancers. All those things just made for an amazing night.
Yeah. Talk about Pride. So we've been to some parades, right?
Yes.
You want to share that? Since
parades were so much fun,
right?
Because it's just love is in the air, the spirit, the vibe. Everyone's just there to have a good time, right? I mean, oh my God, you're just smiling from ear to ear. You're on the float, or you're in the back of the car going down the parade, and everyone's just like happy, happy to be there. You don't get this bad vibe from anything. I don't know about this year, right? I will see tomorrow. There's WeHo Pride Parade, right? Even a couple of days ago, even in North Hollywood at an elementary school, they had a Pride thing. I think it was elementary. And there was people out there, picketing this thing. So I never heard of this before, really, but now everyone's up in arms about it.
We were on the San Diego Pride with the Palm Springs. We done LA and Hollywood Pride, Orange County Pride. And as you write, Kimmy, it's all about the energy, when you are in the float. Yes. Because one thing is to go sit on the side and watch the floats go, which is awesome. But when you are on the float itself and you see the people, the energy, and there's all kinds, young, old, kids, moms.
And kids are happy.
Yeah.
They're saying groom the kids, grooming the kids. Kids, they know, they're smart enough.
Yeah, that became a big deal.
How's that happen?
Well, I got invited to ride on a parade in Long Beach. And when I saw it, I go, you know what? Maybe next year we're going to do our own. And sure enough, next year I inquired more, found out what it would take to apply and get everything approved. And Long Beach is simpler than LA, actually. But so we went into Long Beach Pride. We had a little car, I think, the first time out. And then we built a float, and then we started using the floats both for Long Beach and Los Angeles. Los Angeles turned out to be a huge deal. Yeah. Gigantic. Yes. As far as the people everybody wanted to get on the float. You know, it was like you couldn't turn them away. Yes. It's funny. I went to the parade every year, but I always be the participant. I never been the person on the side watching, not yet. So, yeah. So, thanks to you, invite me to those floats. So do you have any other, plans on towards, expand? Well, we're trying to do different things. Our club format is strong, right, and it's very polished. Yes. Now we're trying to reach into the non-binary kind of that little category. Yes. I have another promoter that's very successful so far. So we're trying to hook up and come with another co-promotion that we could add to the mix. Right. And so then we have. Because then we can reach even more of the younger people. Because the non-binary is even underage a little bit, but they go 25 to 30 tops, And it's a whole different animal. Her parties are so different than ours. It's a lot more casual, it's easy running. But nobody really dresses up per se. Like, we have a different format. Ours is like a mini fashion show. We are more like fashion show, and it has to be on the top of the line. So. For non-binary, they like to just hang out. Yeah, they just want to be. They don't, and so I'm trying to find a way to cut that over. That's our new goal. Yeah, and then when I say top of the line, we're not like, if we mention drag queen, we're not like drag queen. Drag queen is more like really, it's like a stage performer, So they really bring themselves out there. So, right. But we're not like that. It's a whole different thing. Contrast wise, you think of a drag queen is a man that dresses up as a woman and then just yells at everybody. I mean, look, it's that style, and people love it. Yes. So the fact that they love it is fine. What we do is a much more we are more down to earth kind of format, and I kind of make sure I promote that part of it. It's like we can be any place in the spectrum that we are. We could be just starting, we could be polished, we could be whatever. But you're always welcome to come in. Yes, I really like I say in the beginning, you really changed my life, and I'm sure a lot of girls told you the same thing over the years. I think that's part of the gratification that I get this kind of feedback from lots of people. Some people I hardly even know. Yeah. Some girls said, "Oh, I really appreciate the fact that you did these events for us because it just changed my life." And I wouldn't even, some of these girls I don't even know. Yeah, it's true because, like I say, it makes us explore and discover ourselves more every time we go there, and then we feel more comfortable each time we go there, and then we kind of has the guts to go out, do other things and then make decision to go full time. You didn't have any idea that you will make this huge impact like this. Well, my focus has always been entertainment. I am there that we all find a comfortable place to be and enjoy ourselves. Now, as a result of it, has it become a community factor, a pillar? Yes, it has. Of course, it has. Overall, just over longevity, over 14 years, people go, "Oh, we know where to go. We go to Long Beach," and so it kind of became its own little community band, which is great. I love the fact that we can do that. We can service the community in that way. So throughout the last, you say 14 years. So throughout all these 14 years, you can kind of see like difference of how society accepting us also affect that people, go to the events or a club. Oh yeah. It's amazing how, now look, I tell people all the time, look at, we live in California. Right. This could be the big blue bubble state anyway. Okay. Because some of these things you couldn't do in Texas or you couldn't do in Florida, or we would have trouble with it being accepted. But in California, it's very accepting, and we're very fortunate to have that for us. Because people, you can go to a Denny's and go into the bathroom and then come back out, and nobody thinks twice about it.
Yeah.
They don't think twice about it here, you know? But so that's also by being comfortable with us at our club. I remember the first time some girl came and goes, "Oh, can I use the women's bathroom?" I said, "Of course, please."
Talk about that. I had a funny story when first time I went to an event with my friend, and then I think second or third time I went by myself. I somehow I thought it was at the Old Mary at Broadway, so I went there, and then I didn't see anybody I saw the first time. I said, "What?" And then I went to, like you said, I want to go to the bathroom, but since I was new, so I went to the male bathroom because I didn't know. So this guy's in there, like, probably think I'm a little drunk, or probably think and told me that this is the wrong bathroom for you. So yeah. And then you also mentioned Denny's. So remember, we also always, like, after the club we go to the Denny's. Yeah, we had like a lot of tables, huge tables. Yeah, and I went to Denny's just not too long ago. Somehow I just kind of not see that same crowd anymore, especially after COVID.
We used to go to Denny's after the club closed, and we would stay there till 6 a.m.
Wow.
And one guy would buy us a lot of his breakfast. Okay. So we had like 30 of us in there, all from the club. We all like having, and it was actually a better social environment than the club even, because you could just sit and chat.
Yeah, so you kind of take over the whole restaurant.
But I roll in at like 6:30 in the morning. I go, good grief, that was a long day.
We were all, you saved me in the beginning, so we were all younger. Now I cannot do that anymore. So. Yeah, so let's see. So you want to share like your transition journey? I don't know if you want to share this. I know you recently made a huge decision, right?
Yeah. That's an interesting scenario. Actually, we just declared that we're going to be separated, and that started last year.
Okay.
I've always lived pretty heavily as a girl most of the time, like maybe 70% of the time. And so now I've pushed it way over, and I just said, look, I'm going to go full time. And so that just decided that she just decided that that's fine, we're over. So, and that, look, that happens a lot. I see it happen all the time, to be honest with you. But with our case, whether if you took the trans quotient out of our relationship, being married for 30 years, we were still done. We weren't going to get any farther. Right. So you throw that in, and it's like, well, whatever,
Okay. Is there a reason that triggered you to go full time? Is there a event or something occurred to trigger you to wanting to go full time?
Well, I think there's a lot of different things, obviously, but actually, to be honest with you, even more so this last year, we had 3 people pass away in our community.
Yeah.
And it was very hard for me to accept the fact that none of their families wanted anything to do with their trans life. And they were kind of left on the side. I go, that's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that happen to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, we just heard another girl yesterday. Yeah. But so it's, I don't know why. It's just one going after another one.
That was more impetus for me to just come out to my family knew, but my other extended family didn't know. And they've all been unbelievable. So when you really set it out there and you talk about being authentic, then they go, oh, yes, we understand. Okay. And again, we live in a society now where there's so much more acceptance for what we are, who we are as people. And so that's a big part too.
Okay. Good. So do you have, like, I know like you're an event planner and do all the entertaining business. You're in real estate too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a very, 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 very large portfolio in industrial buildings. And so that actually carries me around and everybody else in my life for some reason. But we're all fine, It's a very good. I make a very good living, and it allows me the freedom to do things that I want to do. That's all I've ever wanted is freedom to be expressive. Express myself as a girl, express myself to my friends, and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of also getting into real estate too. want the freedom, wants the health, and and all the goodies come along with the real estate business, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Look at it, and we're real estate in California, no less.
Yes.
Right?
But it's very competitive too. For let's say for myself.
My father took farmland and traded it from back. You could do this. You could 1031 farmland to buildings in 1964.
Wow.
That's when we started this whole thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So a building, matter of fact, we just sold one that we bought in trade for like $30,000 in 1964. It just sold for $3 million.
Wow.
This episode is brought to you by Kitcaster. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. How do funded startup founders attract prospects and talent? Podcast interviews. How do entrepreneurs with exits find new deals? Podcast interviews. How do C-suite execs differentiate in crowded markets? Podcast interviews. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. Click the link in the show notes for a special offer. Celebrate good conversation.
Yeah, because back then, I don't know, some people say Boomer had it easy because the price was just started going up. So right now, a lot of people say for people right now, it's harder to buy. But actually, it's all about, like numbers games. if you can figure out that, how much you can afford to pay and how much down and blah, blah, blah. And then, or maybe you can there's so many options. You can, if you cannot make a payment, you can do Airbnb, you can do a lot of things. Yeah. So
every 10 years, we would stop and say, the prices can't go any higher, can they? 1970, you go, oh, they're pretty high. And he goes, it's not going to go any higher. 1980, wow, the prices can't go any higher than this, right? Yeah. 1990. In 1999, I bought an industrial building for under $1 million. Beautiful building. Actually, one of my favorites, right?
Right.
In 1999, now it's worth $3.5 million, just that one building.
I know. So now we are in a 10-year cycle again. Yeah. So you.
Well, again, it's California. The problem is that there are so many other things about California that are tough for businesses. Work comp, is very high. Wages are high here in California, but people still want to be here. The big thing now is how we're recovering from COVID. Okay. Because everything, and some people come in, they go, it's not as busy as it was. I go, well, none of the clubs are as busy as they were, unless there's the Brit or some plenty place that holds like 50 people. That's not going to be affected. But a big club like us is going to be affected no matter what, because people before COVID, they were just, let's go there, let's go here, let's drink here, and you pile a bunch of people there, all the better, But now it's different. I talked to a couple of girls that still are quite hesitant to come out to a public gathering.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Even with the knowledge and knowing, and they're intelligent people, but they just don't feel comfortable interacting in that manner. So I get it. Come when you're comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have to continue support your business, because it's not just a business or entertainment. It can change people's life. I'm a very good example. Yeah.
Well, like I say, as far as the club business goes, the strongest thing you can do is be consistent. And we're consistent every month, and we do themes, 2-3 times a year that people love. And we just want to make sure that people know that when they come on the first Saturday, for example, that we're there.
Yeah. Talk about, like you say, consistency. Like I did some events as well, as you know. So I remember when the first 2 to 3 events, first 2, only me show up. Me and Al show up. So the third one, it was like a Halloween, which is close to this time. It was like a first pre-dinner. So we have 3 to 5 more people show up. So it just keep going. So when you first started, just few people show up, and then they grow, right?
I had a funny thing of how I promoted, and I used to do it on Craigslist, which doesn't exist anymore. But I used to promote the night I had a little flyer, and after that, then the next day on that same slot, I'd say, okay, we had 14 girls. 10 guys and a little dance party. Yes. And every week I kept promoting the numbers and how they changed.
Yes.
And then I got to a point that was kind of my deal with that. I would say, well, how many people showed up and how many guys showed up and so on and so forth. And when we got to, when we really got going, we were getting 45, 50 girls on a Tuesday night and 75 guys. As a matter of fact, I stopped counting the guys. There's so many guys. But people would recognize, they go, oh, if there's that many people there, I should go.
Yeah.
And eventually they get there and they would go.
Yeah, so I kind of follow your footstep, and we took pictures at the event. So every single event has more group shot and more people. Yeah, so
people can appreciate that when they see, especially because I just didn't do it out of nowhere. I did it every week.
Yeah,
I gave a report every week, and I actually used to put everybody's names in my BlackBerry. I used to keep track of everybody.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because a lot of people. Probably just see nobody show up first few times, they just forget about it. Yeah.
But at the beginning, I remember when we first started, I looked around and it didn't seem like there were that many people. But then I talked to Teresa, the bartender. She goes, these are all your people. We don't know any of these people. I go, oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's when I got the impetus to go out and make sure to talk to the guys. Because they were interested, but nobody would talk to them. So I made sure to talk to everybody.
Yeah, because Hamburger Mary every day, every weekend has a different promoter, different events. So it's kind of, when you mention this, is like I can apply because I've been a few times, but I never really, in the beginning, I never really been to other nights or other dates of Hamburger Mary's, even only yours. So, yeah.
Even when we went to Rhythm Lounge, for example, and you went there, that was when we were trying to break away. Partly because I didn't want to always be associated with Hamburger Mary's if I could help it. I wanted to be TGirl Nights by itself, TGirl Nights at Hamburger Mary's, or TGirl Nights at Rhythm Lounge, or TGirl Nights and try to get a little more mobile with it. And for the most part, that worked. Rhythm Lounge was an interesting place, but it was pretty neat in how it was set up. It just had other parts of the club that were a failure. The ownership was a failure. But
yeah, I only. That's why I went to the wrong place, like I mentioned. Because I think you say go back to the old one or something like that. And I think I went too early.
We have had nothing but great support at Hamburger Mary's. Dale Warner, the owner, has really been very cool, very, very, very open to my ideas, especially because I didn't ask him for anything. I never asked him for a dime. Some people say, well, we'll do this, but you got to help us here, or can you pay for this? I go, no. My style was, if I paid for everything, then I controlled everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Then I could do it in my style.
Right. Do it your way, catered, fit us.
Then nobody could say anything. And it became so successful, they go, let her in. Let her do what she wants to do.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So you're going to run for 14 more years?
Maybe from afar, right?
From afar. Yeah. So any advice or any last word for girls?
Well, people come to me people come to me and they'll say, I'm going to open a club. I go, good. Oh, yeah. Okay. So first off, I go, what do you have in order to open a club? What do you need to have? You go, well, we have to have a place. I go, right.
Okay.
So right there, you're restricted because not a lot of straight bars are going to want to have one night be a trans night, much less a Saturday night. Because Saturday nights for most restaurants and bars are the night they can make money.
Yes.
So you have to be pretty convincing that you have to make them a lot more money.
Yeah.
Or they have to be interested in us as a community to back us.
Yes.
That's about the only way it's going to happen. Now, I've been thinking recently that if I could find a reasonable venue, like a banquet hall, I could also transform that. Then I wouldn't have the constraints other than maybe having to get a permit with the city to do an event there.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at different ways to do it because it's very difficult to find a venue that is trans friendly.
Yes, and then
I don't even know that there's that much of a demand for it. More people go to the Abbey, for example, which is kind of all inclusive, and they like that, and it's a big place.
Yeah.
And so, but that's like us. When we first got going, we were really big and powerful. So it didn't matter whether we were trans or straight or lesbian or gay or whatever.
Right.
Everybody would come.
Yes.
So we're still using that formula to keep ourselves going. But to try and branch out and start again, I don't even know where to begin. I haven't even thought that how it could work. I mean, I guess you could try and find another gay bar maybe that'd be willing to take it on. But even those are kind of far and few between.
Yeah, it's kind of it doesn't have a lot of, especially Orange County, to be honest.
Well, I'm thinking Orange County still might be a place to do it, but I'm just have to kind of sort it out, get out past the first year and start looking.
Because if you really kind of think about it, Southern California, WeHo is LA County, Long Beach, San Diego has that
right, the Hillcrest area.
Palm Springs, Orange County, you never heard of it. See?
Yeah. Well, like I say, we benefited being in Long Beach because we drew people from as far north as Westlake Village all the way down to San Clemente. And we were kind of sort of central, still a drive for everybody, but we just keep going forward. I'm not opposed to trying anything.
Okay.
Resources haven't been too much of a problem. We just have to find a place that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so thank you for coming to our show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
We're looking forward to more of your events and clubs, dinners, holiday parties.
Absolutely.
Yes. And then more girls transform because of you. Okay?
Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate you. You're like my second mother. Right? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We will be back again next time. Bye-bye.
She came to me and she gave me a drink ticket and she made me feel like really welcome. So there's some people and some places that really shaped who we are today.